Stay with us here on TVC Breakfast. Let's see what the papers are saying. The Nation newspaper with the banner headline, Tinubu picks nomination form to open re-election bid. Hamzat, Yayi, Adamu, Tumsa, Buba take governorship forms. The Punch newspaper, 2027 election, Tinubu APC bigwigs pick forms, GAC backs Hamzat, Yayi, Wadada, eyes successions in Ogun. Nasarawa, APC will reclaim Bauchi party vows. The Blueprint newspaper, Tinubu begins re-election bid, picks APC nomination forms, will send PDP government out of Bauchi, that's according to Buba. This Nigeria, 2027, Tinubu braces for second-term battle. Rep Falike obtains APC nomination form on president's behalf, dismisses opposition coalition. And Nigerian News Direct, GAC endorses Hamzat as APC consensus candidate. And then the Leadership newspaper, how APC stopped governors from buying up nomination forms. Next is the New Telegraph newspaper, leadership crisis. ADC writes CJN seeks expedited judgment on Supreme Court appeal. And the Observer Times says Army debunks false torture claims, reveals deceased soldier died of medical complications, opens doors for independent probe into soldier's death, sets record straight on Sokoto detention facility. And the Platform Times, outrage as police officer allegedly executes handcuffed suspect in Delta. Victim identified as 28-year-old. IGP orders investigation. Officer arrested, moved to Force headquarters. And the Hope newspaper, Ondo operating full local government, judiciary autonomy. That's the governor, Aida Tiwa, says local governments now control allocations, budgets. Sugar declares support for Tinubu's 2027 re-election. That's Sugar. Next is, our last but not least, is the Sporting Live. Full payments on leased vehicle. Mercedes-Benz drag Osimhen over 142 million naira debt. Nigeria failed to pay up in 2023. Eagle striker neglected to return the car. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. I'll be doing this with Olamide and Ria. Olamide, we see all the headlines, talking about President Tinubu getting ready for 2027 elections, and indeed some other governors. The Nation newspaper saying Tinubu picks nomination form to open re-election bid. The Punch newspaper also saying the same thing. Tinubu APC bigwigs pick forms. GAC backs Hamzat. And the Blueprint newspaper, the same. Tinubu begins re-election bid, picks APC nomination form. And alongside Dr. Kadiri Obafemi Hamzat as the Deputy Governor of Lagos State, who has been ratified by the Governors Advisory Council, that's the GAC, and then Senator Solomon Olamilekan Adeola Yayi for Ogun State, and Muhammad Abubakar Adamu, Nasarawa, and Senator Shehu Buba Bauchi, who is saying that will send the PDP packing, from Bauchi State.
Absolutely, the ruling party is moving strategically, and they are moving early. And this early sort of nomination, in political terms, it does two things for our president. It projects the inevitability and it projects strength and sort of, I'm sure of myself, it also projects a sort of, it freezes the internal opposition that may arise within the party. I like the fact that APC is prioritizing consolidation over competition. When we're seeing that the GAC has now endorsed Hamzat, we are seeing how integral Lagos is to national alignment and national politics. But we are also seeing that the APC is very good at building consensus from the top down, which is very important in politics. Unfortunately, when you compare that to opposition parties, you see that they are in disarray. And so we watch.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you look at this, Nigeria still talking about the same thing. 2027, Tinubu braces for second-term battle. Rep Falike obtains APC nomination form on president's behalf, dismisses opposition coalition. Then all the coalition, so we see oppositions now saying they are coming together to field one candidate. But then we still see some from within saying, no, whatever you've done was jamboree. News Direct is also, talking about Lagos, especially. GAC endorses Hamzat as APC consensus candidate. How do you see this, the APC getting its act together?
If you ask me, yesterday I said something on this table. I said when it comes to the APC, they just have a way of resolving conflict for me that I think that is very fundamental for a political party. Because oftentimes when something is happening, you see that they just find a way to make it right. And that's what we don't see with our opposition parties. If you ask me, I always say I feel like opposition have failed themselves, not even Nigeria, because over a period of time, they've not been able, just to come under one umbrella or just come under, a thought and follow through with it. Their ideologies have always been very scattered. It's just to remove the incumbents, but not saying that this is what I want to do to make it better. Now we're talking about the president. The president running for president again come 2027 and, fingers crossed. But when I say something, I mean that the president is one person that has made a lot of bold, statements in Nigeria. He has made a lot of things, he has put a lot of policies in place that makes him a very amazing candidate to come out again and say, you know what, let me do this again. Let me make Nigeria better again. There are so many policies that he has put down that he needs to finish. And that's my problem with Nigeria. Oftentimes, we just want quick change. But we forget that when somebody has started something, it needs time. Nigeria is a very, I don't want to say, Nigeria is at a very crucial stage. It doesn't need a lot of shifts, It needs a person that has started a policy to finish the policy. And that is what, we're looking forward to. When we talk about Lagos State, Lagos is a very crucial part, in Nigeria. I mean, the center of excellence. So the right governor for Lagos is very important. And yesterday we were discussing about it. We were talking about the fact that, the governor of Lagos, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has put a lot of things in place, transportation. We can go on and on, infrastructure. And he's basically saying that this is the man that I've been working with hand in hand. And I feel like this is the man that will continue my legacy. So for me, at the end of the day, what we want is the best person, to rule Nigeria, to take Nigeria to that beautiful promised land.
Absolutely. Well, the opposition will disagree with you. They will believe that they are the one that will take us to the El Dorado.
But they fail themselves. Look at the arguments. If within yourself you cannot fix your home, how do you now want to fix Nigeria?
We'll see what happens. Now, if you talk about the leadership newspaper, how APC stopped governors from buying up nomination forms. National Assembly members jittery as governors take charge in state. No automatic ticket, which the APC, philosophy coming
fantastic.
up. And the National Working Committee emphasized that there would be no automatic tickets for defectors or underperforming governors. And the other one is that the national chairman stated that consensus candidate requires the voluntary consent of all aspirants. And then there was a warning when in states like Ebonyi, the party chairman advised aspirants to consult the governor before purchasing forms to avoid wasting resources. But, there was a backlash from within the party. That, how would you say that? And the governor himself said, okay, do not worry, let everyone, go to contest.
Very interesting there, Ibrahim. And my issue with nomination forms, if I'm being honest, is not all of this politics we're talking about. It's rising nomination fees. Right. We don't want to create a political arena that thrives on exclusivity, where the highest bidder can buy a nomination form and then you now exclude rising stars. You exclude viable political voices because of the fee. So that's the area I want to focus on, that we don't need political exclusivity. The political arena should be open for all actors.
And if I say something, when we talk about, buying these forms, what it does is that now a governor can give their ticket to a loyal person. Also, they can block other people that want to contest. And definitely when it comes to winners, it's very dicey. So I believe that, I don't believe in a governor getting multiple forms. No, at the end of the day, let's focus on accountability. Nigerians need accountability come 2027.
All right, then, let's race on. Ria, a New Telegraph is saying leadership crisis. ADC writes CJN seeks expedited judgment on Supreme Court appeal. And, the ADC has been at loggerheads, not with other parties, but from within themselves. So the David Mark-led faction of the ADC, is charging the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereekun, seeking the urgent delivery of a reserved Supreme Court judgment regarding the party's leadership. So the dispute is the fact that David Mark and another led by Nofi Balagombe are claiming ownership of the party. So we need to get to see this, and the Supreme Court has to rule because of the deadline which INEC has mandated, where the primary has to be done within April 23rd and May 30, 2026, and time is not on anyone's side.
Time is not on anybody's side at all. But you see the problem with the ADC. That's just what we're saying. I think ADC and court case, they love it. Like they are any small thing.
just say politicians and all parties.
And for me, I feel like the fact that the one thing with the ADC is the fact that they've not been able to just fix the conflict. Because Ibrahim, it's been quite a long time we've been talking about this thing. I can From like the beginning of this year, if I'm correct, we've been talking about the ADC, oh, this person is not agreeing to this person is not agreeing to this. The other day I said it will be very difficult for them to get a standard bearer, because if we are just a few months come 2027 and we are still having these conversations about courts, about this, about that, I feel like if they want to be a viable opposition, there's so many things they have to do. But the most important thing is for them to put their act together, because right about now, Nigerians are watching. The youths are not just keeping quiet anymore. They are watching and they are looking at how you're treating your own internal crisis. Even it's said, as a man, if you cannot take care of your home, how do you want to take care of outside? If you look at it, the men that treat their home very well, they are very good at their jobs. Example, you, Ibrahim. So if you are not able, if you're not able to take care, if you're not able to take care of your house, you cannot take care of the country.
Most definitely. All right then. Olamide, Observer Times, Army debunks or refutes false torture claims, reveals deceased soldier died of medical complications. We have to do this very fast. I think we have about less than 3 minutes. Open doors for independent probe into soldier's death. I know the soldier, Lance Corporal Hudu, died on April 17, 2026, following a diagnosis of severe pneumonia and malaria. So he's been under custody since April 2023 regarding the killing or alleged killing of a commercial motorcyclist.
Absolutely. It's very sad what happened to that man. And I always say the war that we're facing right now, we often think perhaps it's a war of politics or a war. No, it's a war on information. It's an informational war. This usually follows a pattern. Allegations spread on social media. Oh, look, this person has died. Following that, official responses come after. Following that, unfortunately, public perception is now already framed and set. We have to remember that these constant killings that we are seeing, the deaths of the isolated incidents of officers dying, whatever the case may be, the opposition is framing this essentially as evidences of systemic failure.
That's right.
It's important that the army gets ahead of it, and they've done that by they've now launched an independent probe, and we wait and see. But the narrative is very important.
Most definitely. Let's race onto the Hope newspaper. Ondo operating full local government's judiciary autonomy. Aidatiwa says local governments now control allocations, budgets.
This is what we have been waiting for. We've been talking about, and I'm happy that it happened in my month, April. I'm so happy. But now, Ibrahim, my only problem with this is that now that these people have the power in their hands, I just hope that they handle it well, because we've been praying for them to have their autonomy. Now they do have it. What next? We need to see them, do more roads, do more, just make sure that infrastructure is good. As a local government chairman, you are not there just to enrich your family. You're there to make sure that the people actually feel your impact. Accountability is key. So these monies that are given to them, it's not for your pocket, sir. It is for making that local government good, so that when you are there, when you leave, you will not be there for the rest of your life. When you leave, your legacies will be remembered.
Most definitely. And Nigerians needs to be asking questions, not just from the
questions
president.
we're already asking.
We need to be asking the local government chairman, how are you spending the budgets? How are you implementing the appropriation? All right, then, Olamide, let's jump to the very last paper, which is the Sport and Life. Full payment on leased vehicle. Mercedes-Benz drag Osimhen over 142 million naira debt. Nigeria failed to pay up in 2023, and Eagle striker neglected to return the car. So we know that the Mercedes-Benz Financial Services has reportedly filed a formal criminal complaint against Nigerian striker Victor Osimhen for alleged outstanding debt of roughly 142 to 144 million. The cause of the dispute is the fact that the company claims Osimhen failed to meet payment obligations for the GLE hybrid SUV acquired under a leasing agreement in 2023 during his time. So the legal standing, the complaint filed in Milan accuses the footballer of misappropriation. We talk about Osimhen making a whole lot of money, making a kill, for his club, but then it's not, a good one.
Indeed, a very crucial time for him to be acquiring luxury vehicles, because he just had an injury, and so you're sort of at a pause or at a crossroads. But he's a high-value player, and some might argue that requires high-level resources, like Mercedes-Benz's and Range Rovers.
You have to live within your means.
You have to live within your means, but I hope that he puts these allegations to shame. We'll wait to hear from him.
Absolutely.
I hope that he pays, actually, if he's indeed owing. I hope that he pays.
Yeah, as at the latest report, neither Osimhen nor his official representatives have issued public, response.
I know they say there are some things you cannot owe. It's just like owing Indomie. Like, Gary, why would you owe Mercedes-Benz or something else?
Big problem for big men, small problem for small men. All right, then that's about it for the news.